In these problems, we have some polynomials, so they have more than one term here, and our job is to try to factor out a monomial, one term, from this. So when it's done, it's going to look like something left over in parentheses and something outside the parentheses. That's our monomial that we factored out. So we've got two terms here. I'm just going to set up our answer by drawing these parentheses first. So whatever's left over after we factor something out is going to go in there. Looks like we got a minus sign in between, so I'm just going to stick that in there right now. And then we've got a number part and a letter part, so let's take that one at a time. Let's take the number. What can we factor out of both 4 and 6? What's the greatest common factor there? Well, 2, I think. Both of those are divisible by 2. There's nothing else that they have in common that could be factored out. So let's factor out a 2. I'll put that out here. Now, when you factor something out, you're really dividing each of these terms by that. So if we divided that 4 by 2, we'd be left with a 2. If we divided this 6 by 2, we'd be left with a 3. Okay, so we've successfully factored a 2 out of here. If that's confusing, multiply it back through. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. That's what we started with. Now let's move on to the m. We have m to the third and m squared. We want to factor out the biggest thing that they have in common. And really, the way you should think about this is m cubed is m times m times m, and m squared is m times m. The biggest thing they both have in common is m times m, or m squared. So we can factor out an m squared. So that part I'm going to put out front. That's what we're factoring out. And now we're dividing each of these terms by that m squared. So m cubed divided by m squared, it's division of exponents, so you subtract the exponents. 3 minus 2 is 1. So that's m to the first power, which we would write just as m. And here, m squared divided by m squared is 1. And since this is multiplication, comes out to be 3 times 1. I just write it as a 3. So that is our answer. 2m squared is what we factored out. This is what's left over, and that's our whole answer. Let's try this one more time just to practice it. So I'm going to set up my answer with the parentheses again. Looks like this one's got a minus sign in between. I'll stick that in there. And let's start with the number part. So what's the greatest common factor of 20 and 8? I think both of those are divisible by 4. I think that's the biggest thing we can get. So we'll put a 4 out here. And then 20 divided by 4 is 5. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. So that's what gets left over inside. Now we've got b squared and a b cubed, and just like up here we had m cubed and m squared, the biggest thing we can pull out of both of those is the b squared. So I'll take this out here, and we'll divide b squared by b squared. Well, that's 1, so 5 times 1 is just 5. I can leave it like that. And b cubed divided by b squared, subtract the exponent, 3 minus 2, that's b to the first power, or just b. So our answer is 4b squared times 5 minus 2b. So that's a little bit of work with factoring a monomial out of a polynomial.